Thanks for joining. My name is Christoph Boel. I'm the founder of Vesperlux. We're coming to you from the old town of Geneva for Watches and Wonders 2025. And joining me today is Cyrano Devante and Dominique Busser, the founders of Oscillon, a small atelier based in near Zurich in Switzerland. And you guys are all about the traditional way of making watches, going back to methods from the 1800s and maybe earlier than that. I got to visit several times recently, and I think I was just blown away by all these different machines that you guys had purchased and found along the way, which, from what you told me, you were still trying to figure out how to use as well. Tell us about Oscillon's philosophy, what you guys do, and then we'll talk a little bit about the watches today.
Thank you. So Dominic and myself, we made the watchmaking school together from 1990 to 94. Just after that, we separated different brands we worked for, but we always had the love for those old watchmaking machines. So Dominic on his side, me on my side, we bought some old watchmaking machines together. And when the time has come, we joined our forces. And then because we thought we have all the machines now to make a complete watch without CNC tools, let's do it. So this is how it started. Started initially with collecting machines and the love of those machines, but of course also the love for ancient watchmaking.
It was like a challenge. It wasn't a business idea. We just wanted to prove, are we able to do a watch with these old machines, with these old tools, with a lot of time? Can we arrive? Will it work? Will it be on the quality we want to have? And so we proved, we are happy, we are proud. And this comes from this passion.
So essentially everything that you guys do, from the case to the movement parts to the lugs to the dials, like everything is being done internally at your atelier in the traditional way of making watches. By traditional way, I mean the analog method of making watches without use of any CNC.
Exactly. Everything which is metal, from the screws to the wheels, to the pinions, to the springs, to the case, to the buckle, hands, dial, everything is done in-house in our own workshop. Engineering is done in-house, manufacturing is done in-house, decoration, everything is done by Dominic, myself, and we have Jan and David as well, two watchmakers. So we're a team of 4, and everything is done by us.
And you guys started with L'Instant de Vérité, which is your first watch. Tell us a little bit about this piece here.
Well, L'Instant de Vérité means the moment of truth. And so the moment of truth is when you assemble a watch. Does it work or not? And so we had to work during 3 years to prepare all the parts, to have to build up the knowledge how to do it on these old machines. And then one day there will be the moment of truth. You assemble the watch, does it work or not? Therefore comes the name. So it was really to prove that it is possible to build a watch only with these old machines, no CNC machines.
And it's a very unconventional balance that we see here. And can you talk to us a little bit about the technical side of the watch?
We have the balance wheel. We wanted to show really the moving of the balance wheel. If you have a circular balance wheel, the moving is not so visible. So we made one which looks like a bow tie or an hourglass, which makes you much more appreciate the movement of the balance wheel. Beside the special balance wheel, we also have a tensator, a constant torque spring, which was used once as a prototype in a pocket watch or in a little table clock, but never in a wristwatch. So we made the first pieces with a constant torque spring, which means it delivers already a constant torque at the source of energy. So we have a coil. The spring is wound up on one coil, like a cassette tape, and then it will go to the other one, and it delivers a constant torque. It needs a little bit of space. It's a sandwich construction, a little bit of more height. Therefore, the first watches were a little bit bigger than the actual one, which are 38 millimeters.
And I can't imagine you did a whole lot of them. Just considering the amount of time it takes to make one watch. How many approximately did you make? Because it's now no longer in production.
It's no longer in production. We switched to the Fundamentum, to the new version. From the L'Instant de Vérité, we made 8 pieces.
8 pieces from L'Instant de Vérité. So we're talking 8 total pieces.
Exactly.
From of this over, 5 years?
A bit more.
Yeah. Okay. If you calculate engineering and before the 3 years before we could manage to have the first piece assembled, it would took a little bit more.
This is real watchmaking. Like, this is not, we're talking, this is actual watchmaking in the very sense of the word, right? Like making the watch from the ground up. It's incredible. Okay, so after L'Instant de Vérité, about a year ago, or a year and a half ago?
No, a little
2
bit,
years now?
Almost 2 years now.
2 years, comes the Fundamentum.
Exactly.
And this is the evolution of what you are doing at Oscillon.
It's really the back to the roots, if you want. It's really a very traditional engineering, 3 hands, small seconds, but with a very special architecture to show the finishing, to show the speciality. We have special spokes on the wheel to show, because we got some comments, yeah, you buy some wheels or whatever. No, we do them in-house also. On the pantograph, we do the blanks, and then afterwards we go on a teeth cutting machine. So the engineering is done really to have a classic movement. Myself, I worked several years for Omega, so I'm inspired by the old Omega 30T2 movements, 265, those calibers, or also old Longines calibers. So this is the inspiration. Dominic will talk about his inspiration himself. It was really to go to the basics of watchmaking and to have, that's why we call it Fundamentum. It's really the base of what watchmaking is.
Maybe what is important, the design comes also a little bit from the machines, because when you work with old machines, not each form is possible to do. So you have to respect what the machine is able to do, what you can do, because with a CNC machine you can do what you want, 3-dimensional forms, but with a classical machine you have to respect, and therefore part of design comes from the machine. And so now we understand why the watches of the 50s and 60s are like they are.
Had a particular aesthetic.
Exactly. And so I understood also
do
why I like this.
Do you find it limiting or liberating?
Inspiration, which means we call it machine language.
For me, it's liberating because at the end you see it comes together and it's naturally. There is not one design at this part and the other design, because all the machines are more or less the same. So at the end, it works. It comes together.
And this year, or was it maybe last year, you introduced the Foudroyant.
We had the prototype running end of last year, yes. But officially now, this is the first final version we have with the Seconde Foudroyante. Plus, we added a little twist because we like the technical challenge as well. So we have the patent pending because it's coaxial. We have the white disc is the second hand, if you want. It makes 1 rotation every minute. And on top of it, we have the Seconde Foudroyante, the fast-moving second, 5 steps per second. But it always catches up the triangle, which is the indicator for the second. And the Seconde Foudroyante always catches the little triangle, which means we have to make 1 rotation more than what would be normal to compensate the rotation of the second disc.
Wonderful. And then you see a different dial decoration, dial finish on this one here than on the blue. For those that are not as familiar with a Seconde Foudroyante complication, can you just highlight that a little bit so to educate people a little bit more about that? Why does a Foudroyante exist?
Well, the normal Foudroyante, that means the hand makes 1 rotation in 1 second. And they used it around 100 years ago for chronographs to show the 5th time of a second or the 4th. And then sometimes they did it together with a split second. And we had this idea to combine, to show the exact second. That means always when the hand of the Foudroyante is on the triangle, you know now it's the exact second. That was a bit...
Initially it was done for observatory reason, which means to read really the correct time and the split
accuracy
part
purposes,
of the accuracy, yeah. Exactly. To if you have to measure something really precise, you could easily read 1/5, depending on the frequency of the watch, 1/4 or 1/5 of a second precisely. But in the classic ones, it was an independent dial, independent hand. It was difficult to combine because you had to look at 2 places at the same time. And because we have it exactly on the same spot, it's super easy to read the correct second or the complete second.
And so today the Fundamentum is the piece that's the model that is currently in production.
Exactly.
How many do you make a year?
We try to make 5 pieces a year.
Okay.
When we
And what is the price point?
Price point starts 155,000 for the Fundamentum.
Swiss francs.
Swiss francs, exactly.
And then with the second foudroyant, that'll go up.
185.
When we started, we said we would never make more than 10 pieces per year. But so far, we can't reach these 10 pieces because it takes a lot of time to produce. So we underestimated what it takes in time.
Well, listen, it's outstanding. I mean, I've had the pleasure of visiting you guys and seeing what you do. I tell people it's one of my favorite first-time atelier visits. You know, there's a handful that I think about, and yours is one of them. So, if you're ever in the Zurich area and you want to visit the guys at Oscillon, like it's definitely an experience. It's totally worth it. So, thank you for coming on today. I really appreciate it. And congratulations. This is outstanding. Really is.
Thanks.
Thank you. Cyrano. Dominic.
Thanks.
Stay tuned for more upcoming content from Geneva. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel.